Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, October 11th. So the moon is going to be moving out of Sagittarian energy, locking into Capricorn energy. Now let me tell you, the moon is going to go void of course around 1:30 a.m. and will lock into Capricorn energy around 2 o'clock p.m. Meaning we're in for a little bit of a rough morning, a rough start to the day because we are not thinking clearly. We sure as hell don't feel stable at all while the moon is on the move. And the transition from the moon in Sag to the moon in Capricorn is like falling out of the sky and your parachute not opening and hitting that ground smack dab all up in your grill. Now, I mean that in the nicest way, but we're flying high with Sagittarian energy. It's up all in the clouds. It is very fixated on the possibilities, the happiness, the silver linings, the greatness, the big picture of the future. And then the Capricorn energy is earth energy. We are only focused on what is. We don't care about what could be. We want to focus on what is. We have to get down to business. We have to come back down to earth. We have to be grounded and stable. Capricorn energy doesn't have much time or energy for emotions. We only want to just dig in and do what it is that is going to prove that our energy and effort is well spent digging into tasks and chores that we can see the progress and productivity of. We just want to distract ourselves with our tasks and chores of our daily life so that we don't have to think about our feelings at this time. And so that dramatic shift in energy is going to be a little bit of a reality check for many of us. So the moon, while still in Sag energy, is going to be jumping and bumping into Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, rules over Sagittarian energy, and this is just amplifying the heights in which we have reached over the last couple of days, the positive outlook, the big picture, the adventure that we're willing to get excited about again, just amplifying where it is that we want to evolve. We want to see change. We want to see things take place. We want to come and bust out of this very uncomfortable, quote unquote, comfort zone that we've been in. We want new things. We want new adventures. We're aligning with our higher selves. We know what is possible at this time. And Jupiter just turns up the volume on all that positivity, all of that optimism, all of that want, need, and desire for things to be better. The moon bumps into Pluto. Pluto, of course, the god of the underworld, really illuminating for us where it is that we have to take the power back. Pluto is the great destroyer of the zodiac, of the planetary system, ruling over Scorpio, of course, the great alchemist, doing a absolute beautiful transformation on our heart, head, soul level so that we can take our power back in our physical realms and start breaking the old attachments up, the old foundations up, the old system up in order for a brand new one to be reborn. The moon in Sag goes ahead and bumps into Mercury, who of course is still retrograde in Libra. We're not thinking as clearly as we would like. We're certainly not speaking as clearly as we would like. You can tell by my tongue twisters over the last couple of weeks in these forecasts. I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts out of my brain and into the physical realm without being tongue-tied. And I know many of us are absolutely struggling with that particular energy as well. The moon in Sag, making this beautiful, harmonious energy with Mercury, is definitely going to put a different spin on how it is that we have been thinking about the realm of possibilities that we're about to move into, and will likely put us in a situation where we're just kind of opening our mouths, my goodness, our mouths, and allowing just whatever to actually fall out. Now, we talked about this a couple of days ago, and although, that Sag energy doesn't have much of a filter, and because Mercury is retrograde, really not having a filter either, and kind of trying to speak up and out about some of the things that happened in the past that we kept quiet about, and of course wanting to clear the air in order for us to be on the same page, we might just find that we're a little bit too quick to share our thoughts and feelings with other people. And of course, they're not coming out correctly. They're not being understood. They're not being validated, which puts us in an absolute funk because we don't think that we're important. We don't think that our thoughts are important. And of course, that couldn't be furthest from the truth, but everyone is really struggling right now to make sense of our realities, of our truth, of our situations in our inner realm, and of course, the information coming in from our external realm. Something does transpire though. Something gets said, something gets heard, something gets triggered within us because the moon goes ahead and bumps into Uranus. And of course, Uranus is the great awakener. Suddenly we hear something from our external realms or see something shift in our external realms that make us see something that we didn't previously see. And these are things that you can't unknow. Have you ever had that situation where you listen to somebody talk about maybe their thoughts or their feelings and you can't believe that they actually think like that? And then suddenly you can't look at them the same because you just had no idea that you've known this person for so long and had no idea of the inner narrative that they actually believed was true. And I mean, out in the greater, grander collective stage right now, the division between people couldn't be more evident. But I feel like it's getting to the point where we don't even understand what's going on in other people's inner realms, because how could we? We can't even understand what's going on in our own. So the moon in Sag, that is on a quest for truth and on a quest for seeing how things could be different in the future, having this little bump in with Uranus, which is obviously creating an external situation that is totally going to shift our perspective and think in a different way. Now we can't unknow this. Now we have to work with this potential situation and knowledge and information in order to rework how it is that this particular person or this particular situation is actually going to factor into the dreams and the visions that we're working really hard and actually seeing manifest. Now, once the moon actually shifts into Capricorn energy, again, huge shift, our moods are definitely going to be a little bit more somber, a little bit more just leave me alone type of energy. The moon is going to actually be bumping into both Mars and the sun, both of course in Libra. And the moon in Capricorn bumping into Mars in Libra just wants to, we've spent a lot of time thinking about the future while the moon in Sagittarius was with us. We've been thinking about the possibilities, thinking about the greater, grander picture here. And like I said, Capricorn really doesn't have any time, energy, or effort for that. We want to get back to the present moment. So bumping into the sun is going to illuminate, where it is that, of course, we've been out of balance by, giving ourselves permission to live in la la land, where it is that we have to come back. And of course, Mars just wants to take action, which of course the Capricorn energy is totally happy with, because we want to see productivity. We want to see progress. We want to see actual, tangible, physical change. And Mars is going to be encouraged to make a move, especially based off of our emotions. And our emotions right now are saying, get a grip, come back down to earth. Let's clean up the mess of the now before we can think about making a mess of the future. We get a little bit of a validation that needs to happen when the moon bumps into the sun in Libra, because of course the sun in Libra is just illuminating where it is that, balance needs to be restored, where it is that, we have to kind of figure out where it is that we've been ignoring some tasks and chores and letting things get into extremes and out of control and out of hand, and where it is that we need to focus back on tangibly putting our hands on things in our physical realm, in what we have control in the here and now, to make sense of this extreme situation. We need to see balance actually take form. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and bump into the true node. And this is interesting because the true node is a futuristic energy that the moon in Capricorn doesn't want to think about. But the moon in Capricorn, while we engage our physical body in tasks and chores to avoid thinking about our feelings, the moon bumping into the true node is just kind of revisiting the dreams that we kind of thought about and explored while the moon was in happy-go-lucky Sagittarius, thinking about the possibilities of the future. And now we're kind of like turning the volume back down. Remember I said, yesterday that we kind of had to give ourselves permission to go to that extreme point of view because we haven't been happy or excited or passionate or giddy about anything for a very long time. So we gave ourselves that permission to go from the darker extreme to the lighter extreme, knowing that we were going to have to pull the reins back in order to find a comfy, stable, grounded point. Well, we're here. The moon in Capricorn pumps the brakes as we kind of reflect and rework some of the things that we dreamed would happen in our future possibilities, future version of ourselves. And now the moon in Capricorn is shaking our head at ourselves saying, oh my goodness, like you really went for it. You really created a vision and a dream that was like really large, really big. So the moon in Capricorn is going to do what the moon in Capricorn does best, which is focus on the details, take charge, look at the tasks at hand of what would have to happen in order for that greater, grander vision to actually come to life. And of course, we have to rework, re-strategize, re-edit, revise, restructure, reorganize because we are still in retrograde. Mars goes ahead and bumps into the true node though. And Mars is like, you know what? I agree with the moon in Capricorn. We do have to pull the reins back here. We do have to clean up the mess that is currently going on in our situations right now. We do have to come out of la la land and focus on the here and now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to do what I can here right now to get my space organized, to take action and make a move to align with having balance restored in the present moment, cleaning the slate, preparing us for a brand new foundation for us to actually build off of, because that's what it's all about. Our systems, our foundations have not been strong enough for us to build on. That's why we've been going through this retrograde season, looking at what hasn't been working and putting a certain death and destruction to the systems and foundations that are weak, that cannot support our dreams and visions moving forward. So Mars is very happy to bump into the true node because now we have a different vision on where it is we have to pull the reins back, where it is we have to get a little bit more grounded and stable in thinking about what is actually tangibly possible right now in the here and now in the short term in order to actually build up and align with the long term. Now the moon is going to go ahead and bump into Venus, and Venus, of course, the goddess of love and beauty and pleasure and worth and future planning. She's in Sagittarius right now, getting very comfortable in this fun, fancy-free energy. She is definitely future focused, definitely more confident and optimistic, definitely more bubbly than the moon in Capricorn would appreciate at this point. And basically, the moon in Capricorn bumping into Venus at this particular aspect is providing us with a little bit of an outside trigger for us to reconsider what it is that actually means the most to us. What we want to pour our energy, time, effort into, especially people, because we're changing. Our heart and our head is changing. Our vision and dreams are changing. And some people are not going to be along for the ride. And because Venus is in Sagittarius on a quest for truth, a truth first within ourselves, a truth second coming from the other people in our life, the moon in Capricorn is just not as hopeful, not as optimistic that other people are going to show up for us the way that we've been showing up for them. That really puts a little bit of a damper on the dreams, on the visions that we've been really trying to focus in on and what it is we've been wanting to manifest. Because why bother if we're not feeling the energy be returned to us in the way that we've been spending it out in our personal relationships in the here and now? What makes us think that something's going to change? So the moon in Capricorn is very realistic, is very down to earth, is very almost on the negative Nancy side of things because that's the polarity that we're in. And Venus in Sagittarius is just too damn hopeful, too damn confident, living in la la land, expecting people to change overnight. And we can't base our dreams and our values on what could be because guess what? Many of us fall in love with people based off of their potential, not for what it is that they show us in the here and now. And many of us have created dreams and visions that are based off the potential of what could be instead of actually standing in the current reality of what is, making a realistic and practical judgment call on what could be. So this is going to be a huge awakening to potential. And of course, potential truths now emerging in what it is that we now find to be of worth and of value with our emotions, with our mental energy, and with our physical time.